Today's my least favorite day in terms of being a musician because I have to restring all of my guitars, at least the acoustic guitars that I play, but it sets up an easy video for me to give you guys kind of a rig rundown of sorts to show you the different guitars and equipment that I use as a worship leader on Sunday mornings. We'll start with the accessories and then we'll go least used guitar to most used guitar. For picks, I use the Dunlop medium, the orange ones, the .60. I started using the reds and moved up to the oranges. I prefer these now. We actually have some with our church logo on them and I use these more than anything. But it's the exact same pick. Sometimes I'll use these. They're white, but they're still orange. It says Flex in orange. It's the same thickness of pick, but it doesn't have that kind of coating on it that makes it kind of tacky. So sometimes I'll use these. For the most part, I use the regular orange Tortex picks. Also today, I use steel wool and clean my frets for the first time ever. I know that's kind of crazy. I've been playing for so long, but to see them shiny again, highly recommend doing that. When it comes to capos, I use one of two. If I'm playing electric guitar, I'm using this G7th capo that I got when I worked at Guitar Center because I got a really good deal on it. It's overpriced. I wouldn't pay that much money for a capo normally. And on my acoustics, I use the Kaiser capos. I used to use the Dunlop ones because that's what Ed Sheeran uses, but I like the colors of the Kaisers and I primarily use this gold one because it doesn't stand out on my guitar like during worship. I don't want anything to be a distraction. All right, let's do guitars from least played to most played. My least played guitar is this Fender Mexican Standard Telecaster. Now, if you're not a musician, it matters that this was manufactured in Mexico and not in the United States, but I love the way it feels, love the way it plays, and I switched out the pick guard for a mint green pick guard. I think that looks really cool. And another thing you'll notice on all of my guitars is that I use the same strap. I used to work at Guitar Center and bought like 8 of them so that all my guitars would have some kind of like identifying feature. And so that's kind of become like my signature guitar strap. I love the stars. What can I say? I'm a millennial. I grew up listening to Good Charlotte. I have a star tattooed on my arm. Pretty typical. I will say that over time, all of the hardware, the components are starting to look a little rough and dingy. Eventually, I would love to clean that up and put some new stuff on there, but I just don't play this guitar enough to warrant putting any money into it. But occasionally, I'll get to play it in worship. But mostly, our lead guitarist, Cody, will play it when we play songs like Goodbye Yesterday because it's a half step down. Instead of retuning his guitar in between songs, sometimes he doesn't have that long, he'll just play my telly, and I love seeing it get played. I don't play electric enough to warrant having a pedal board anymore, although I do miss it, and I've been thinking about building a new one. But I do keep some pedals around, like a Boss TU3 tuner pedal. There's nothing really special to say about a tuner pedal, but the two main pedals that I do keep is the Ryan Adams VCR that he did with JHS, and they had a falling out over the accusations against Ryan Adams. Regardless, I love this pedal, and they don't technically make it anymore. They rebranded it into something else, but it's just a volume, which is a boost, a chorus, and a reverb pedal all built into one. And I love this pedal, and I still listen to Ryan Adams. And this pedal right here is a Visual Sound Route 66. It was the first pedal I ever owned, not this specific one. I actually sold it, and a couple years back, I had a buddy, and I just said, hey, if a Visual Sound Route 66 in this casing, because there was another version that came out, ever comes through Guitar Center, man, let me know because I'll buy it just for the nostalgia. And he ended up surprising me for my birthday, and so it's just a little piece of nostalgia. It's not the best overdrive or compression pedal, but it's very sentimental to me, so I will always have this pedal. My next guitar, and that I haven't had time to restring today, but I will, is the Martin LX1E, and we're also known as the Little Martin. And the reason I have this guitar is because before Ed Sheeran started making his own line of guitars through Loudon, this is the model that he played. And instead of getting one of Ed Sheeran's signature ones, I thought it'd make more sense because I was learning how to loop and use loop stations and stuff to get the LX1E. And I love this guitar. I play it primarily in my office or at home or around campfires. You'll see it has the star strap that I love. And it's great to have a guitar like this that I can just play and beat on and not really care if it gets scratched or messed up. It has the Fishman electronics in it. They sound pretty good, but on a Sunday morning, I've only played this a handful of times because it does sound really thin because it's such a small guitar. My guitar that gets played the most is this Breedlove Passport series. I've had this guitar for over a decade, and I absolutely love the way it sounds. And it's got a lot of wear and tear on it. I have some tape on it because there's a chip right here that scratches my arm, and actually it'll bleed from time to time. I like to move and dance around on stage a lot, and so I'm trying to keep it in the rotation, but it's looking like I'm gonna need to purchase a new guitar before too long. All the electronics still work on it. I think the pickups sound really great for an entry-level guitar, and I just really enjoy playing it. I just put new strings on it, so it's not in tune. Now, if you're watching this video and you're thinking $500 for an entry-level guitar, look, you can get guitars much cheaper at Walmart or Costco or somewhere like that, but it's really important that when you do decide you want to play an instrument, to get something that you're going to want to play and enjoy playing. And anything less, the quality of materials that are made to make those guitars aren't going to be something that's going to hold up over time. And it's super important. It's just as important to put good quality strings on your guitar and have it set up by a professional so that you'll actually enjoy playing the guitar and it'll stay in tune better. So just highly recommend. $500 should be that entry level point for a quality guitar, but also make sure you have a guitar tech to set it up for you. Shout out to my buddy Ryan. He's the only person I ever let work on my guitars. And we have an honorable mention, and that's this Taylor 414. And it's not my guitar, it actually belongs to Cody, our lead guitarist that we talked about earlier. But he's been letting me play this guitar, and I've actually been playing it ever since Easter. It obviously has a much more full sound than my Breedlove does. It doesn't have all the wear and tear that actually cuts me while I'm playing. And he's pretty cool about saying, hey man, just play it. I play hard, I jump around, I scratch up my guitars, and he seems to not care, so I did restring this one today for Cody, and really do enjoy playing this Taylor. With that being said, I'm semi in the market for a new acoustic guitar for myself. So if you have any recommendations, drop them down in the comments. Let me know what you guys are playing and maybe a brand that I should be looking for. I'm not necessarily married to Taylor or Martin or Breedlove for that matter. In fact, I've been looking at Seagulls a lot. So let me know in the comments what kind of guitar you play or would recommend me for leading worship each and every week. And of course, if you're enjoying this worship ministry style content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It would help me out a lot as we continue to shift into mostly ministry related content. And as always, guys, I'll see you very soon on the next one.